I got a chance to live with them. And Pastor, especially the mother-in-law, you have to come to that too. The mother-in-laws, they have problems to the husband and the wife, most of them. So please find one day and then talk about the mother-in-laws. They are the cause of so many marital problems.
Okay.
Well, so you heard them. Quite very interesting thoughts there, and help me welcome my guest in studio tonight, Reverend Alain Kumi-Mensah and Mrs. Flora Saki. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Good evening, boss.
It's a pleasure.
We thank God that you could come out tonight to be with us and for us to be able to get into the marriage clinic. So tonight you are the doctors at the clinic. What are your thoughts? I will start with you, Mrs. Flora Saki. What are your thoughts on what you've heard so far on this real marital issues that people are dealing with? I.e. abuse, issues with in-laws and what have you. What are your thoughts on that?
I think what they are saying is real.
It's real?
Yeah, most of them are true. And unfortunately, a lot of mothers-in-law are problematic to their, children, especially those who raised their sons and daughters alone. Okay. Mother-son relationship. If the father was not there and the son had to play the role of a little father, the mother grows, used to him, and the bond, the emotional bond is strong, and she finds it difficult to let go. So sometimes it's even the daughters. They are allowed to marry them, but yet they still hold on to them. But you can still love your son or your daughter, but allow them space to marry.
Okay, all right, Rev.
Yeah, for me, to add on to what Auntie Flora said, what I think about in-laws is, the word in-laws is the second part of the title.
Okay. That is actually a mother before.
So I take them as mothers or fathers or brothers or sisters.
Okay.
And then try to look at it that if that was your mother behaving that way, what will you do? The trouble is there. What will you do? How we handle what is happening, I think sometimes also leads to where we get ourselves into with our relationships with our in-laws.
Okay.
Because if you are looking at him or her as a father or mother, and he is, put it in inverted commas, messing up, and is your mother, what are you going to do? So I want to look at it from that angle, that yes, they are not good, or they are doing things you do not like. Okay. But what is your reaction to what they are doing? Are you confrontational, or you are trying to handle the situation such that it will not... You see, why I'm saying this is sometimes later you find out that there's a misconception. Okay. And then because you have bent and broken and swept away all the bridges, it then becomes difficult for you to go back to the same person from whom you are now understanding what used to be a great area of conflict.
But, okay, Rev, but so what if really the mother or mother-in-law, as it were, is really causing problems? Really? I mean, because it can happen. We've had situations where, two spouses, the man's mother, even her own son is saying, my mother is causing this, she's done that, she's done this, she's interfering in their marriage, trying to impose her views upon how they should live together and all that kind of stuff. And it's a real bother. And that is his mother. This way, even the wife doesn't come in.
Okay. For me, one of the ways to approach those difficult situations is, are you going as a team or you are going as individuals? Okay. Very, very crucial. If you are going as individuals, then of course, divide and rule. Okay. But if you are going as a team,
That's the couple together.
Yeah, that's right.
This is our stand.
This
on
is
so.
what we think of this.
Okay.
And we will plead with you to be with us on that matter.
Okay.
Whether they are coming at you, and they will still attempt to divide and rule. Whether they are trying to isolate.
Okay.
Keep together. And once that team becomes formidable, you will by all means win the battle.
Okay.
But where it is one person reporting the in-law to the other, then gradually what you're doing is you are building resentment even in your own partner.
Okay. Against the in-law, the mother, as it were.
So the bottom line for me is go at it as a team.
Okay.
And make sure that you remain resolute. And this is why I tell most people that when you are courting, it is time for you to sit down and be jotting down things, how you want to approach things.
Okay.
You may call it a vision or anything, and some of them are easily resolved. Take, for instance, your mother-in-law walks to you and says that, I want a grandchild. And it's a decision you've taken with your spouse that the first 2 years we are not going to have a child. Your answer to her is, this is our decision. But if it is, I want a grandchild, and you have not sat down to even think about, 1, when, 2, how many, and 3, how, then it is going to be, you are not prepared, you don't have an answer to that question.
Okay.
So then what is considered to be an intrusion or pressure will begin to have effect on you.
Okay.
But when the two people are together, they have one thought on many of these things that are going to become the bone of contention.
Okay.
He or she is coming against a stone wall.
Okay.
At the end of the day, Mom, this is our decision.
Okay.
Dad, this is our decision.
Okay.
They cannot say that, then divorce.
Okay. That is, if you will, the best case scenario where the couple are united. What happens if they are they're having problems?
The advice is for me, for them to get back and get united.
Is it that easy?
You see,
it's easier said than done.
Yeah, but you are working at it.
Okay.
You see, for most people, what I notice is when there's trouble, people look for least line of resistance.
Okay. Okay.
When you have trouble in the marriage, it is the time to dig your spikes into the mud and make sure that nothing is dragging. Don't say the mud is slippery. It's also a good ground to get stuck. I get my point. It can produce two. Either you slip on it, or if your feet are deep in it, nothing pushes you.
You're stuck.
You're stuck. But most people look for the least line of resistance. And the least line of resistance always leads to trouble. And it leads to gradually the two of you moving away into a deep, vitalized relationship.
Okay. So, in part of the insights we heard, there's also not only issues of parents-in-law interfering in marriages, but we saw scenarios of abuse, okay, verbal abuse and physical abuse, and yet the marriage seems to have a semblance of manifestation, yet it's divided. Like this woman who was saying the husband was calling her all kinds of names and still want to, engage her sexually and that kind of stuff. How does one handle this if you're a woman and you find yourself in this kind of marriage?
It can be very difficult.
Okay.
It's a very, very serious dilemma, especially if you are a godly woman and you believe that you must obey God. So a part of you wants to obey God because the word of God says in 1 Corinthians 6 that your body belongs to each other. So your body is your husband's property. And yet the other part is saying that I must also fight for my rights. You can't abuse me and still come near me, you see. So it's a very difficult thing. And I think you need to pray for grace and for wisdom.
For how long do you tolerate that?
It depends on the individual.
Because what we're talking about, some people have dealt with this kind of situation for decades. There are cases that I've been aware of, and this is a Christian couple. These are not unbelievers. All right, Christian couple have dealt with this for coming on to 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
The abuse pertains. It has been from when they got married, has gone through all the period when they have had their children, raised their children become married, and still the abuse persists. How long do you endure this?
No, is it one way or?
It's one way.
It's one way.
One way, yes.
Sometimes
It's
see
one
the
way.
foundation of the marriage counts. Sometimes, like we said the other time, you go into marry somebody, you see the red flags. This person, even in courtship, the person beats you,
Okay.
abuse, insult you and all that. You should know that what you are going in for
Okay.
will not be anything, worth writing home about. But as we sometimes feel overconfident, let me marry him and then change him. If you are not able to change him while you are courting, how can you change him when you are married?
Can anybody actually change anybody? Really?
No, because when we are courting, that's when we all put up our best, because we want to marry the man.
Okay.
You want to marry the woman, so you put up
But
your
this
best.
is when you saw abuse and imminent reality of your future if you choose to stay with this person. So what do you do? And for those who probably saw the red flags but still went ahead to marry the person and the abuse persists, how do they deal with it? How do they deal with it? Rev, can we get some help from you?
Yeah, one of the things I have learned in my short life here on earth
Really?
is the fact that once somebody does something and he gets the desired effect from the other person,
Okay.
he's encouraged to do it.
Okay. And so for instance, in this case of verbal abuse, physical abuse to your spouse, saying nasty and uncharitable words to her, what kind of reaction does the person get that gives them the encouragement to continue doing it?
One, you may be crying,
Okay.
you may get confused,
Okay.
you are cowed into submission,
Okay.
and they see that, okay, this is how I can subdue this person. But if you are out there and the person say you are a fool, and in your mind, and this is some of my weird solutions. In your mind,
I'm happy you said it's your weird solution.
yeah, in your mind, you are not a fool.
Okay.
Why should that affect you?
Okay. But it hurts.
No,
It hurts to
hearing is different from listening.
If you
No,
are-
seriously.
hearing.
I am coming.
Okay.
Between me and you.
Okay,
If
come
I
on.
say, excuse my language, you are a fool.
Uh-huh.
In this instance, you may take it as a joke or, it's off. But if even it was in a serious situation and I asked the question, are you? What would be your answer? Your
I'm
answer
not-
would be
I'm
no.
not, yeah.
Yeah, so why will you hear the same thing without the question and take it that it is you?
Well, but the person is talking to you.
Exactly, that is what I'm saying, that it is the net effect.
Okay.
If it is me, it's ignorant. I'll just ignore what you're doing.
Okay.
Because the thing is, irrespective of what you do, that is what you're going to be
Okay.
receiving.
Okay.
So ignore it and take it as something that is out of the blues.
Interesting. However, this is, if you will, the verbal abuse part where you think, okay, I'm only hearing it, I'm pretending I didn't hear that,
That's
and
right.
he's not talking to me. What about physical abuse? Where
Remove yourself from the threat.
you move from the house, leave your marriage.
Will you die?
Well, I'm looking for you.
No,
to
no,
give us
I'm telling you. This is, you see, sometimes we don't stay in the Bible and die. Because there are laws in the country.
Okay.
Why will anybody face physical abuse and say I've given it to God? Why will anybody do
So
that?
what do
Be
you
as
advise?
wise as the serpent, self-protection,
Okay.
and as gentle as the dove.
Dove. Mhm.
My advice.
So remove yourself from the threat.
From the threat, you are receiving blows. You are coming with swollen
Living in
eyes.
slap.
Yeah,
some are being
split
pursued
lips and
with
things
knives.
like that. Yes. Why will you be in that environment for 20, 30, 40 years? It means that you've gotten used to it.
Okay.
And you either you have become numb
Okay.
to whatever is happening
abuse.
to you.
Okay.
So you don't really care. I mean, I know I'll be beaten. It's just like those when we're young, one guy would say that, Charlie, once I'm late for 5 minutes, to be 6 lashes. So let me do 2 hours.
2 hours.
Are you getting me? You don't want to get to that stage where you are numb and you know that this will by all means happen.
Okay. Okay. Auntie Flora, you have a contra opinion, or you support what he's saying?
Where your life is in danger, separation is allowed.
Okay.
So you can move out to a safer place.
Okay.
Because sometimes in the heat of the anger, they can even hurt you for life.
For life.
Or even die.
Maim you.
Yes.
But there have been incidents, interesting point though, but there have been incidents where the moment the abused spouse leaves the matrimonial home, the man gets the opportunity to bring another woman.
Usually when they behave like that, there's always a third person.
But maybe outside. But your leaving gives them room to bring the
you
external party inside.
You are saving your life.
Okay. But you're saving your life, you're losing your marriage.
Well, my life is more important, I guess.
Okay, the way you folded your arms, I like it. Let me hear what you have to say.
No, it's the same thing. I mean, seriously, if a third woman walks in, it means that that person has existed for all this time.
A bit, yes. Mm.
And I have had instances where let me use my strong word again, the misbehaving spouse has every intention that if there's any divorce, it must come from the other side.
Okay.
Again, he will misbehave to the extent that to get to a say where you say that I want divorce.
Yeah, you will be frustrated enough to say you want your way.
It is virtually a hooray to him because that has been his intention.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, Auntie Flora and I agree on one thing. You can't stay there and die.
Okay. Okay. All right. So
sometimes though the other person is helpless. Mm-hmm. Maybe the woman may not be in a position to go and hire a place for herself.
Yes.
That's a dilemma.
Some have actually ended up on the street because their family says go back to your husband. Okay, and there's no place to go. The husband is the breadwinner, so she doesn't have income on her own to be able to rent a place. So she's ended up on the street with I mean, some of the cases I knew about with a 2-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
So to put it bluntly, that family got rid of her. They didn't send her into a marriage.
Okay.
They got rid of her.
Yes. Well, they reckon they didn't want her leaving her marriage at the if you will, at the behest of supposed abuse or violence against her. They would rather she's stuck in there and chew it hard.
No.
That's bad.
That's bad.
Okay. All right. 33 minutes after 8. And in case you just tune in, you're listening to A Walk with Jesus. Today, we're on the marriage clinic, addressing very personal, real, thorny issues that are bothering marriages. So, very soon you can join us on the phone lines. There's some questions that I know some people are throwing aboard. We will take them on board in a minute. But send your questions across on WhatsApp. 0244 340 437. Again, 0244 340 437. And then Facebook, that is Facebook/Joytime. Send your questions there or your comments, and let's hear you. Okay, so now let's find out this. Okay, probably we'll flip back on another very thorny issue in marriages, which is a very major cause of problems in marriage, which is the issue of money. Mm-hmm. Money. Okay, women sometimes catering for the home, although their husband earns more than them and stuff like that. There's this kind of imbalance and financial management in homes and stuff like that. What do you think should be the appropriate situation in terms of how money is managed or handled in marriage to make it that there's peace and harmony at home? Auntie Flora.
I think there should be an agreement. These are some of the expectations they should have talked about before formalizing the marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's discussions you should have had before the marriage was executed.
Sometimes at the beginning of the marriage, things go well, but then later on,
Okay.
You know, as we're saying, an intruder may come in and maybe some of the money may be siphoning to her and all that.
Okay.
And I think it's not fair for the man who has more money to leave the financial burden on the woman, and it's cheating, and then it's emotionally, you know, unfair.
Okay.
Because for a woman, when it happens like that, it makes the woman very burdened all the time, anxious, unhappy, because maybe what she earns is not that much.
Okay.
She wish she could do much more, and so the little that she has to, you know, expand it to meet all kinds of it. Fills you with anxiety, worry, and fretfulness. You can even become depressed and lose your beauty and all that.
Okay.
So it's not fair. Somebody should talk to the man.
Okay. All right. Rev.
For me, I always tell people that the moment you get married,
okay,
mine become ours.
Okay. Easier said than done.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, that is why, for me, if you want me as an extremist, I'll tell you most people are living together, they are not married.
Okay. They're not committed to the marriage covenant.
That's right.
They are
living together and making babies. But at the end of the day, what really must make them become as one, is not being practiced.
It's not being practiced. Okay.
Because the bottom line of being one is we are in this together.
Together. Okay.
And we are ending together.
Okay.
It appears all this issue about till death do us part, people don't even understand it.
They just say it.
Yeah.
Well, it's become quite customary to just repeat the vows and then we get it.
Yeah. We are quickly to get it done and then we want to go home.
It's all for the ceremony. Okay.
Yeah, but the bottom line of it is once you get married, if you really, really want to enjoy marriage, get into this oneness thing.
Okay.
Because look, you are traveling a long life's journey.
Okay.
You want to travel at optimum speed. Why will you leave somebody to be dragged along?
Okay.
So you share the weight and move at optimum speed.
Okay.
Otherwise, you load one person, and every time the relationship is lagging. It is not growing at the pace at which it should grow. So I believe that people must learn to invest in their marriage.
Okay.
When I say invest in your marriage, you have to invest your emotion, your strength, your money, anything and everything you have. The two of you must bring it to that marriage common pot.
Okay.
And say that this is us. This is where we are going. This is how we want to get there. So if you get into marriage and it is, this is my house. This is not our house.
Okay.
People are even afraid to build a house and put the family's name on it. It implies that you have entered, and I'm being blunt, you have entered into this marriage with the view that if it doesn't work, you are working out with your thing.
Well, I mean, what if you built your home already before you married
the woman? It doesn't really matter. Are you married?
That is the stance that many people
No,
take.
that is the law. Okay. But what I'm asking you is, are you married?
Are you married? Okay.
Because I always ask myself one foolish question. If I had not married my wife as my wife, not a wife, where will I be in life?
Okay.
If it was not her as a person, will I be where I am today? So if you really answer that question, sit down, do analysis and answer that question, you find out that all these trappings about the things you cannot take to your grave. The house is one of them. The things you can't take to your grave,
your car is
and you are craving to them, becomes vanity. As Solomon, the richest man, the wisest, unwise man in the world, said it. It's all vanity. So I believe that whether you build a house before or after, remember that you are married. You are coming to invest in a person who will also invest in you. Never ever think that because you are highly educated than your wife or you are more socially placed than her, she will not add anything to your life as a person. There is something that she is doing for you that is making you tick. Sometimes, remember Jacob, Laban got to notice that this guy's presence in my house is a blessing.
It's a blessing.
Are you getting me? So there are people, if that is the question I keep on asking, ask yourself, will you be where you are if you are not married? And understand that you are in this together. Invest in it.
Okay.
You must be committed to making sure that you are only going to part not after you've killed the other person,
okay,
but when death has come naturally. Killing the other person can be physical abuse, emotional abuse, threats, and all those things.
Yeah.
Walk with the person through thick and thin,
yeah,
and get to the other side.
Okay. All right. So 20 minutes before we close now, you can join us on the phone lines. Call 0302 216541. Again, 0302 216541. On Facebook, Sarah Na says, great topic for discussion. Della Dale says, great topic. Hello, Della. How are you? Okay. On WhatsApp, one says, hello, Rev. Each time my wife hurts me, I just go silent for a couple of days. During this period, there is dead silence in the house, and I will have to initiate the breaking of the silence. Why must it always be me? Number one. His number two question is this going silence best way to absorb the hurt so I don't hurt her with my words as at the time I'm being hurt? Okay, very interesting.
You don't remove the soldier hands in, and his decision is good, but silence for 3 days. Okay. What I'm saying is, in the heat of it,
okay,
don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it. But it hurts.
No, I'm coming. Okay. Once you find the space, when the heat is gone down, and it is not even to go and find, you see, what I see as a challenge is most of the time, people are trying to even scores.
Okay.
But if you were to lift up the matter again and say that what you did is not good.
Okay.
Not that you are bad.
Okay.
What you did is not good. And I'll plead, don't do it again.
Okay.
It's a totally different ball game from just keeping silent and deciding never ever to talk about the topic.
The issue.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mention it, but it is the way it is presented.
Okay.
That matters more than going for attack on attack.
Okay. Or even trying to defend yourself.
No. So the Japanese say that the best form of attack is defense. And the best form of defense is to attack.
Okay. Yes. All right. Let's talk to Ajiman Joseph in Tema. Hello, Joe.
Hello, everyone. Good evening.
How are you?
I'm strong. I hope you're doing well.
We're good. Thank you. Let's hear you. What's your comment?
Yeah, I want to ask on 3 quick questions.
Okay, good.
1, is it advisable to have the same savings with your partner, and how best must it be done?
To have the same what in your partner?
Savings account.
Savings account. Okay,
yeah,
to keep a joint account with your spouse. Yeah. Okay. Right.
Secondly,
that's question number 1. Number 2.
Yeah, don't you think our mothers or our fathers also need counseling, because sometimes they want to fit into the marriage, thinking that they want the marriage to be on their case, whereby the man and the woman, they are leaving their parents to cling together to be one. So why don't you allow them, but rather you want it to be in your taste? And thirdly, quickly, if you want to go, you are going out with a woman that you are planning to marry, and there's this one character, she seems to be complaining and nagging, which you see it to be unnecessary. When she speaks to you in a manner, she thinks it's okay, it's a joke, but when you do same, she tends to blame you of not respecting her. How do you handle such a person? Okay.
Thank you, Joe. Auntie Flora will handle those. Maybe a couple of them, and then we'll take it. You still can call 0302216541.
I think that the joint account should be a decision both should take.
Is it advisable?
It depends on the situation.
What will be the ideal situation that will help for a couple to be able to do that?
Where both of them, have their money to themselves, then they can decide on joint account. But where sometimes the extended family situation, you may marry somebody who is a firstborn. She has other siblings behind. They may need her help. So the person or his help, the person may need to help, because sometimes in a family they invest in the firstborn so that when he finishes school, he also help the others. Yes, and so you can't say that he shouldn't really help his siblings. And the other spouse may be a last born with older siblings who don't need his money. So it's like, if we put it together,
it's not fair at all.
So you can decide to keep a certain percent together as yours, then as you use joint together. So the rest, let's say we bring 60% of our earnings together, everybody's 50%, or a certain specific amount. Then whatever the 40% I have on me, I can use that to help my parents or my siblings or any other, so that it doesn't affect you. I think that's how that should be.
Let's talk to Adam on the line. Hello. Sorry, I think we lost Adam. Carry on, ma'am.
And the moms and fathers, nobody goes to school to learn how to be a spouse or how to be a mother or father-in-law. So sometimes they need to talk to their fathers. Usually, I believe that is their blood should do the talking. If my parents are the problem, I should talk to my parents, because my parents will have more kindness towards me than their in-law. So that's how it should be. And then unnecessary courtship. There's no marriage without any homework. You always have something to work at. If somebody is nagging, you can, draw the person's attention to it, and then pray for the person, and also encourage the person. Sometimes it's a habit they've had all their life, so they're not going to change within the first year that they married. They got married to you.
Let's talk to Fifi in Laboni. Hello, Fifi.
Hi, good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, thank you.
I
have two issues. I've been married before. I'm going through a divorce.
Wow.
But I've met this very wonderful lady. I mean, she's just fabulous. She's made me a better man.
Wow.
Yes, I must confess.
However,
I have a little problem. She adores her parents. She does. And I do agree. They are wonderful. They are very well. They're nice. Her parents are even so nice to me. They treat me like a son. However, I think I understand this leaving and cleaving onto your spouse thing. And for me, I tried that in my first marriage. Unfortunately, my ex-wife just took things for granted, and it didn't work. So I have a different approach or idea towards marriage, and it's a slight problem. She thinks sometimes I'm in competition with her parents, as in when I'm asking
her to do
certain things exactly. And she says because we are not married yet, she's not giving all she can.
Well, you're not married to her yet. What are you demanding from her that makes her suppose that you are in competition with her parents?
I am not demanding to. It's like, when there are issues concerning her parents, she tends to skew towards it. Like nothing else matters where her parents are concerned.
Well, you must understand her parents means the world to her.
I do. But my fear is, sometimes we are supposed to leave our parents and cleave onto.
But you're not married to her yet.
Exactly.
You're not married.
What if it doesn't change when we get married?
Well, so have the conversation. Rev.
So simply answer this question. Can you live with all the shortfalls you have seen with her for the rest of your life?
Sorry, say that again.
Can you live with all the shortfalls you've seen with her for the rest of your life if she doesn't change?
I should be able to. I would do that because
my
understanding of marriage is once you're married to a person. I am not perfect. You understand? I have a lot of flaws, and she's accepted me the way I am.
Yes.
And I am willing to accept her the way she is. But that is something that bothers me. Because I give everything I have into a marriage. I do. And I don't want to be unhappy in a marriage again. Because I've been there once.
Have you had that conversation with her yet?
Not yet.
Not yet. I think you should.
But the bottom line is, my question must be answered by all those who are on the verge of marrying.
Mm-hmm.
You have seen certain, let us put it bluntly,
negative sides
or negative sides. Can you live with all of them?
Okay.
If the person does not change at all for the rest of your life,
you live with it. Okay.
Because they will improve.
Or get worse.
Then getting worse is improvement.
One thing is that, as I think the account said, the work canon so you've been in a certain situation before, so it probably has made you even more alert and more
probably paranoid.
Yes.
Maybe
so the listing, you think that it's coming again at me.
Okay. So one says, "Good evening, Reverend. My husband is like insulting me using indirect speech, especially when he's drunk." He hires lawyer. Okay, Nanaya Nungwa, hello, how are you doing?
Hey, Pastor, good evening. I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Thank you for joining us on a Walk with Jesus. Let's hear you.
Thank you very much. My problem is we have been married for 12 years now.
Okay.
And we have 4 kids.
Okay.
We are living in a rented apartment.
Okay.
Now, my husband has bought a plot of land. And I'm working in an architectural firm. I've sent my boss, myself, and a structural engineer. We went to the site, we've taken measurements, everything. Even the drawings, the quantities, everything is done. I have talked to my husband times with that number. Sometimes he's getting to payment of rent, and we find it very difficult.
Okay.
My husband is interested in buying cars.
Okay.
I have talked to him several times, but I don't know how to go about it again. Sometimes I talk to him, he's like, "You're giving me too much pressure." Yes.
Wow.
Even recently, he told me, "I have bought you a new car," and I'm like, "Look, we have Camry we are managing already.
Okay.
You have your own Sonata. Why do you have to go and buy me another car instead of building our own room, our own house?
Your own house.
We have 4 kids. And it's a problem. Even the drawings are here. I have structural engineer who has done it for me. My boss has done the drawings. Everything is here. For my husband to sit down and say, "Look, let me even have a look at it."
Okay. And put some money in there so that you can at least...
I'm even willing, because I have put up 2-bedroom apartments. 4 apartments.
Okay.
And here I've sent him to the site. He has seen it.
Why don't you move into one of them then?
I haven't finished.
Oh, okay.
I haven't finished.
Okay, thank you very
and
much.
And I know he can do better than me.
He can do better than you. Okay. This is a very, very interesting issue. I mean, thank you, Nanaya. Just stay on the back of it. Auntie Flora, okay, let's talk to Adam, and then probably we can address this issue. Hello, Adam, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for joining us. Let's hear you.
In fact, it's a nice topic you've chosen for this last season.
We thank God.
I always say that in-law intrusion into marriage always stems from the upbringing of most of these in-laws. Some do come from a background where they don't really have a family.
Okay.
That mother and son and husband sit at one place with their children and then groom them into the future. So when they, like Pastor said, when they groom their children single-handedly, it becomes a problem later on, because they think they have to rape whatever they've sown.
Okay.
And that becomes a problem. Secondly, on the issue of saving together, I have tried it, and it's helping.
Okay.
I have an understanding wife, Rita, who always understands how we should keep our resources together.
Okay.
And I think it is helping us.
Okay.
And with the intrusion, my in-law, for instance, I'll say my father-in-law, I'm even celebrating the same birthday on the same day. That'll be 11 tomorrow.
Okay.
They've always been very helpful.
All right. That's very good. Okay, so let's try and see if we can wrap it up. This issue of money being, if you will, misused or misapplied when it can go to the right use for the family's comfortability and all that kind of stuff. I mean, because if you heard from the Nanaya, she's saying sometimes they have difficulty paying the rent for where they are, and the man can actually afford for them to be able to put up their own building and move into it, but he's rather using the money to buy cars and all that kind of stuff. What would you advise?
Is it a psychological issue that maybe when he was growing, he didn't
have too many toys,
and then he thinks that maybe there's some psychological problem. But I think that prayer, not giving up and praying, sometimes these things are spiritual. They have spiritual dimensions.
Does he need prayer, deliverance, or water baptism?
As men get older, their toys become more expensive.
More expensive. I knew you were going to do that.
But the bottom line is, how many toys does he want to
Does he want to buy?
At the end of the day, I mean, much as we say all is vanity, cars are more vanity than buildings.
Okay.
One trotro without brakes will just run into your brand new car, and that's the end
and it's ruined.
Yes.
If you're not
so
insured,
I believe strongly that if she is not succeeding, she should look for somebody who the husband respects.
Okay.
And for the person to start having a chat with him, for him to realize.
Okay.
Not necessarily making it look like he doesn't know what it is, but for him to realize that it is good to have a car, but it is better to have
your own home.
Your own home.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. One says, "Good evening. I'm Frank in Tema, and I'm enjoying the program." Okay. I'm not. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I'm about to get married. I believe this program will help me. Okay, Frank, we're happy to know that you're enjoying the program, and what you have learned tonight will help you. One from the US. Let me see this one. A message from US. It says, "Hi, this is Janice. I have a lady friend who's a believer and is contemplating divorce on the basis of not being in love again, along with other issues. She told me recently that she's been praying for a while now, asking God to change her heart and make her love for the man again to be happening, but it hasn't happened as yet. What do I tell her? Thanks. This is a relationship to the current marriage program online." Okay. All right. So this is somebody who was falling out of love.
If she's praying, then she should keep on praying. Well, we can't give God time.
Okay.
Sometimes He wants to do other things in your life or in the other person's life before the answer comes.
Okay.
So that rests with Him, and we can't, force His hand.
Okay.
To do what He wants to do ahead of what He has purposed to.
Okay. Final submission. I think our time is almost up now.
Yeah, final submission. I believe that we get into marriage till death do us part.
Okay.
And we are going there to become one unit.
Okay.
A force to reckon with as far as procreation and relationships are concerned. So I believe strongly that people must learn to invest their time, their emotions, their strength, their money, and all that they have in the relationship to make sure that it grows from strength to strength.
Okay.
If you are having challenges with your marriage, this is not the end. You are just devitalized. Go for vitalization.
Okay. You need a counselor.
Yes, that's right. Talk with somebody.
Okay.
And have mentors. I always tell people, when you marry, have a mentor who is older than you, who is doing well.
Okay.
Have a mentor at your level, and have somebody who looks up to you. If you have these three people in your life, it becomes challenging to fail. Because when you are not doing well, the younger one will look at you.
Okay.
And then the older one will scold you.
Okay.
And your friend will advise you.
Okay, I think our time is up. So just in case somebody needs help, and then I will say this on your behalf, because you're quite senior citizens, so they can spare you calls before 9 p.m. But just in case some couple listening to us today,
and also before 8 a.m. We have no children in preparatory schools.
So not before 8 a.m. and not after 9 p.m. Your contacts, please.
Mine is 0244 239080.
Okay. All right. 0244
0264 640
Okay.
571.
Okay. All right. God bless you. Thanks so much for your time. I believe, we've not been able to go quite very far, but God